and light. Obviously, because Gaia is darkness, it empowers her to actually destroy the crystal for Reen. The crystals of light are empowered by Shiva, which you have to destroy those. It's no question at all. But because you get rid of the crystals of darkness, Gaia's influence on destroying the thing is weaker. Because those crystals are actually empowering Gaia. But if you destroy them, then she can't use them. So it's harder for her to actually stop the crystal breaking thing mechanic from Reen. So as a result, all the damage you got to put out is on the crystal of light, and you got to also kill the wall that lets her be free. They break the wall, however, that's it. And then since Mitron is influencing Shiva currently, she activates the power of Gaia to turn into the Oracle of Darkness and like awaken Logrith. And then she turns into the Zodiac of Zodiac. Now, here's the difference. If you actually go back to that most recent poll, where's that shit at? Check this shit out. They did this differently this time. What they do is, the Dragoon LB3s, the crystal. Where is it? Let me. Okay, the Dragoon actually uses LB3 on the crystal. They're the only melee, so like whatever. At some point, give it some time. Or do they? Wait, let me... Hold on. They don't even LB3? Oh! Wait, this changes everything. They go into phase 3 only hitting the dark one. That's actually cracked. They don't even use LB3. They go into phase 3 with LB3. That's crazy, actually. The Dragoon was using LB3 to get rid of the ice crystal, and then they actually did it without it. Now check it. Because all the crystals are tied to Gaia, she just breaks the crystal. She didn't do that last time. And then when that happened, look at the crystal on the floor. It literally lifts up, and then it goes. They didn't do that last time. See, that is part of the puzzle. However, that has to be a memory crystal that they specifically use to activate the influence in Shiva to prevent Mitron from taking over. They 100% do that. So what has to happen is, after that memory crystal goes into Shiva, in order to like slightly alter the influence that it has for Mitron, you probably got to fight Gaia in the same format, and then you're going to probably acquire a second memory crystal, and you got to put that into Shiva when you come back and do this phase. You defeat Gaia, you got to go back to fight Shiva at some point, and then then there's like another crystal. So instead of being empowered by one, she gets empowered by two, and then it removes the influence of Mitron from her, and then she fuses with Oracle of Darkness to become the final boss, or the fusion of both of them. That's what has to happen. So we'll see. Anyways, that's what we've been doing for the past couple minutes in time. What happens if you kill two? I mean, that's a theory. If you kill they try hitting the crystals light with the AoE because the red AoEs are finally very new. Well, no. So the thing is that because there's so many there's so many crystals. Here's the thing. Let's put back on full screen. Have they done it? Yes, they've used caster LB3 to just get rid of every crystal. Period. They've done that. What happened is what I just showed you. If you break all the crystals, the memory crystal that falls doesn't appear. There's no crystal that falls. You fight Gaia. Here's the thing. If you LB3 every crystal, like, doing the thing to like fight the wall is easier because there's nothing else happening. While you're baiting the dark cone, because there's cones that come from the dark crystals. While you're baiting those, with the crystals out, it can be baited by range. So like, who cares? But what happens is, it empowers Gaia enough to like break the crystal. Now, realistically, Um, like it's kind of hard to know for sure like what the plan is. Now, can they test it even further and point the cone at like the crystals of light and turn it into crystals of darkness? That's a theory. We don't know. Have they tried that? No, but is it possible? It's possible. So I don't know. No, I mean, have they done the outgoing AoE cone? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can do that because the here's the problem. The cone is wide for it to hit the light crystal, and then that cone is wide. It's a very wide cone, and if you do that, you have to forcibly make it so that the like if the melee only like what if the melees hit in the process? You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to know for sure. Like I don't really know. I'm under the impression that it doesn't do enough because the thing is that all we know is here's what I think. Like granted it may seem like a big brain theory, a game theory. No, I saw that though. W idea. The problem is that the darkness hitting the light to turn it into more dark crystals and like force the thing that doesn't cost. I don't think that that makes the memory crystal fall because it's not like it's multiple crystals. It's just one, and they have all four. So you can, and this can be semi-tested. If you have all 8 crystals empower Gaia to break Reen free, if 2 crystals drop, then like maybe. But as far as I'm aware, I feel like specifically you'd have to you have to break the light ones regardless, and you don't touch the dark ones. That's what I think. I don't think you have to do that. It's definitely worth a test if you get there. But like it's kind of hard to know for sure. I'm not under the impression though that you need to turn the dark into light. Although that'd be really fucking crazy if you had to. Because the only reason why I say that is because like if I think about it, like I don't know what the melee have to do during that part if they did. Like the melee can just keep on attacking the wall or something, but I feel like you're supposed to just keep on fighting the crystals of light. Because also you have all those circle baits. These baits, the circle baits come from the cones and the tethers. The tethers and the circles come from the light crystals. The dark crystals form the cones. So realistically, by doing this, then they get the crystal memory thingy to appear. Blah 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 blah. It's worth a test, though. It's worth a test if you do that. It's hard to know for sure, though. But they save LB3 and they put no effort in breaking the crystal because Gaia just breaks it, and then the memory crystal's on the floor. And like it just was. What's up, Helen? Don't what, bruh. So personally, I don't know. I'm not under the impression. Tef got modded. What's up, bro? I heard people get damage off in this phase. Yeah. Nice one, brother. What's up, homie? I wanted. Damn it! I didn't do this. I forgot to do this. I don't think it matters. I don't think the debuffs change if you do the thing or not. I don't think so. I think the execution of this mechanic doesn't change whether or not you break the crystal. What's the proc point? This is the furthest proc point that they got to get to. They have not figured this part out yet at all. But it's good though because they get to experiment. Like they're all currently. He has stack. What? That's stack though. That's the proc point. That's the furthest that they've ever gone. How far in the fight is this? This is currently the beginning of phase 3. They've not gone past the beginning of phase 3. Like there's like a little cutscene moment with like Mitron Shiva in light form hitting Gaia with the power of darkness to turn her into the Oracle, and Lawgriff's sting turns on. Time wise, oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess like it's like 6-ish minutes, maybe 6.5 into the fight. There's the bursting in I'll tell you what, the bursting in this game, in this fight is like hard. the bursting gets screwed like a lot. Yeah, this is the furthest prog point in the entire race so far. It's literally that exact moment. That's the furthest prog point period. They've never this group actually just broke the threshold by 3%. They just finished that phase at 81. They finished the phase at 81. Their highest was 84. No one's gotten past that. So now that doesn't, like, indication wise though, mechanically speaking, I think damage wise they're the farthest, but actual like mechanic execution wise, I think the farthest is JP. This group is the farthest, I would say, like in terms of execution wise of the mid. They actually there was like 2 more debuffs left or something, and they actually saw the second wave of spinning lasers, and we know for sure after that Gaia does the conal buster. We know for sure. She 100% does the cone buster at the end of the whole relativity. So this group has made it the farthest mech wise. This group's made it the farthest damage wise. So I think overall JP's winning personally right now. For now, I hate spinning because I can't read. You know what's going on right now? I mean, it's alright. Watch me be right about crystal theory. I mean, I don't know. I have absolutely zero idea. I'm under the impression that this fight has to have like 6 phases at the minimum. If there's 7, I'll be shocked. I realistically, my heart says 7, but my brain says 6, because I'm also gonna include an intermission. I think there's an intermission. Once you finish Gaia, there's like a thing that happens with Gaia. Something influence crystal, then you got to go back and fight Shiva, or you fight Promise, which is E12 phase 1. You either fight Promise, and then Promise is like, oh, something about like a memory will destroy it, whatever. But you're like, nope, I got this crystal, and then the crystal alters the memory, and it stops you from progressing into phase 4. And then when you go back and look at when you look at Shiva, you don't fight Shiva again, but you have 2 crystals. So you put the first crystal you get for having Gaia actually break the crystal or the wall herself, and you got the second one from fighting Promise. That prevents Metron Shiva from turning the Oracle of Darkness into the Oracle of Darkness. And instead she's like, Gaia, what are you doing here? And then she's like, oh my god, we have to stop Metron's influence. And then they skip to phase 5. And then you gotta fight whatever the hell that phase is. I'm thinking it's like Metron something of the nature. And then you find out something that happens. Then they fuse. The Oracles fuse. And you gotta basically defeat them in order to acquire the memory crystals that turn into a buff. And then you do that, and then you fight the final boss. The Reen Gaia fusion, just as a FYI, the Reen Gaia fusion is not the final boss. There's no shot that it is. It's the boss before the final phase, but there's no way in hell that's the final boss. It can't be. There's no way that it is. Actually, I'm fucking lying to you. That's not what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is phase 3 happens with Gaia. You fight Promise. Promise makes you refight. You have to refight Shiva in Metron form, but also with the Oracle of Darkness. So you got to fight both of them at the same time. You fight both Oracles individually, and the objective is to prevent her from being hit with the ice wall thing. And then they're both like awake and in final form. Then they fuse, and then that's phase 5 or 6, whatever. And then they're like, okay, like, the memories have been completed. Here is this crazy mega buff, and you use the mega buff to fight the final boss, and that's the final phase. 100%. So the puzzle that they've completed, that they figured out, is to not break the dark crystals, because you need the crystal from not breaking the dark one to get it, to put it, the first one into Shiva. That's the first puzzle. They figured that out, which is cool. The second puzzle happens at the end of phase 3. For sure it is. How hard is looking at the moment? Yo, I'll put you like this. Phase 1 is short and very packed. It's not like insanely hard. If I had to compare it to every single other Phase 1, it's probably in the middle of difficulty, like when it was peak. It's definitely the hardest Phase 1. Maybe like next to Looper. Looper difficult, low-key. Like the mitigation is crazy for that part, and the flexing, it's a lot of brain power shit. So I want to give Looper its respect. Looper is actually not an easy Phase 1. Like, Looper's a hard Phase 1. I think that this first phase, is maybe, like, right under the cusp of Looper. But I know Looper is hard. If we're talking about peak, like, when the fight came out, Twin was hard, as far as I'm aware, but what wasn't difficult was like the hard part about Twin was the puzzle. The puzzle was the Neuralink, and then putting the hatch down thingy. That part was hard. The actual like killing Twin probably wasn't like super. I don't know. I didn't actually like do the fight on content. So if I had to assume though, like doing UCOP on content was like the first phase of Twin was probably not super hard to go to phase 2. But it was hard to realize that Phase 1 had the puzzle from the beginning that you needed for Phase 3 in its entirety. And Phase 4. Like with Uwu, I think the rules are the same. Like, getting past Garuda on content was probably not hard. The hard part was when you found out that there was a puzzle tied to Garuda from the very beginning that you were like, wait, we freaking need that shit. And then you got to go back and figure what the puzzle is to then go actually execute it. I do think the hardest one, Phase 1 wise, is it's gotta be Liquid, despite like how not hard T is anymore. Liquid was a lot. Hand and Pain shit must have been insane, actually. So if I had to put like a tier list in order of it kind of vibe, difficulty wise on content, I would say it's like Liquid, I'm gonna say like Garuda UCOP somewhere. Brew. No, wait. Liquid, UCOP or Uwu. Fruit. No, top, sorry. So brother, I can't English right now, so sorry. The number one hard one was Liquid. T was hard. Then in between there, second place is either UCOP or Uwu. Third place is Looper. Fourth place is the other one of the two. Then it's this one, and then the lowest one is DSR. DSR Phase 1 is not hard. Like, it's hard, but it's the easiest out of the 6. Like, even on content. Like, on content, DSR was not insane for like a Phase 1. Because, realistically, DSR was a test. Like, it was a test to see, like, can you complete Phase 1? If you can complete Phase 1, then you can continue the fight. And if you can't, you had to go back and practice. So, like, DSR was deliberately designed to not be a super hard, insane, mechanical, like, fight. Like, ultimate-wise, still hard. But, like, the thing is, like, you can't use Fru as an example to figure out, like, if you can do Phase 1 of Fru, you can do the rest of Fru. Like, you can't do that. With DSR is the only ultimate that lets you do that. If you can complete DSR Phase 1, you can do the rest of DSR. If you can't do DSR. Not because of, like, progression, but because, like, Phase 1 is got a checkpoint. It's literally designed to tell you, like, can you handle one phase of an ultimate? Because if you can't handle the rest of DSR. If you can, then good luck trying to handle the next 6 phases. You know what I mean? So, I would argue that Fatebreaker, for a first phase, is not the hardest phase, but even for as much as there is going on, that phase is like there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot. Phase 2 is hard, period. There's no discussion. Phase 2 is hard. I think let me think, what is it? There's Nail, there's Ifrit, there's BJ. Good luck with that one. There's Dordan. And then there's Party and Limitless. Like, this phase is hard. Period. It's just hard. Okay, confirmation up here. Gaia specifically does 50% in order to save Shiva. I just saw that. The boss has to be at 50% for you to save the thing, which is crazy actually. That LB3 saved them that opportunity. Because here's the thing, there's a possibility that like you need LB3 for Gaia or a later phase. Like it's possible. So, yeah, my monitor just turned off. All right, we're back. We never left. All right, check. Let's check these people out real quick because they're actually here. They make it the farthest mechanically, execution-wise, if they don't fuck at the beginning. I think they're trying to figure out how to do it, but they can't do it actually. They can't figure out how to do it. What's up, Kiwi? They eat the Otovus rotators in this phase is insane. A different time, I think. The highest part is P2. No, that what you just saw was phase 3. That's Gaia Oracle of Darkness is phase 3. That's phase 3. That mechanic is the point. That is the first, not first, but that is like a major wall. You have to be able to execute that without error. That whole section is a body check. That whole thing is a check. You can't fuck that up. You have to be alive and execute it, not like perfectly, but you have to execute it where like it works. You have to. There's no discussion about that at all. That is the farthest far point. So they're counting the adds to P3 as P3. I don't know why it's not, because you're still fighting Shiva. Everyone who thinks that adds is phase 3, that's incorrect. So good luck. It's not P4. It can't be. There's no shot. Because there's no boss shift. You're still fighting the whatchamacallit. Because the arena change. No, because like if that was the case scenario, then DSR would have had 8 phases, but it's got 7. Like it's not. Also, hello Axel. Yeah, I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you the answer. It's like because Limicut's a transition and an intermission at the same time. It's not a phase because like there's no boss to fight. You're fighting the ads. But it's not a boss. It's like a whole transition thing where like mechanically there's like a thing to execute, but like if Shiva left and then the things came down and then you fought those things, then like sure. But like the answer is no. It's not a phase. It's still the same phase as Shiva. Because at the end of that whole thing, after the end of the ads, Shiva is still present in the moment and forces the change into the next phase. So because Mitron Shiva actually forces you to fight Gaia, it's not like if the ice broke and then it was Gaia, then like you can argue it. But you can't possibly argue it if at the end of that breaks, you still have Mitron Shiva at the end and then she turns you into the thing. There's no shot. Is this part faster than top and DSR release? Honestly, I would say it's on par, actually. Because realistically, I want to say for like, I don't remember exactly how long ago we saw it. I want to say like 3 hours ago, maybe 3.5. 3.5 hours ago, I want to say, we saw them enter phase 3. They have not made progress like since then. They've been stuck there for like a minute. So they've been there for like a while. They've been there for hours. They've been stuck at phase 3 opener for hours. They also like finally solidified the puzzle for P2. They were like, we do this every single time. So it makes sense. Like they've been at it for like a while. So a lot of people were still doing Caster LB3 during phase 2, thinking like that was the solution. And like they only recently confirmed it finally that like you don't ever do that. You actually don't LB3 period. And that's smart. So yeah. The guy, yes. So here's the thing: the towers will. So for Gaia Phase 3, all the towers will drop down, and there's two pairs. There's two pairs that get sped up. There's one pair that gets slowed down, and there's one pair that's untouched. The mystery of the mechanic is to figure out how do you pull that off, because obviously what happens is, three of them start spinning first, and you have to bait them away from what I'm assuming is the middle, because the middle you need to hold the ice and the stack, and then you gotta place your other stuff, because there's a teleport that you have to deal with that's got downtime moment. That's the same thing in Savage. There's a teleportation moment. There is the spread, there's the stack, and they haven't even done the eyes. There's a gaze. They haven't even done the gaze. Like, it hasn't even been done yet. And if it has been done, everybody was dead for the most part. So, like, in terms of executing ultimate relativity, no one's figured it out. And here's the thing, you can hit the pause button and you can go run that back and forth on repeat, and like even then you still gotta try and figure it out. The smartest thing to do is to check out Lucrezia, because they've actually gotten to the second. There's two waves of spinning towers, and then at the end of that there is a conal tank buster. We've seen that. They've done that. I think if it's what it is, it's the smash cone buster. So Gaia will pick, I think I forget how exactly it works. I think it's the off tank. Gaia will jump buster somebody, I think it's the off tank, and then does a follow-up cone on the main tank. So, but the jump buster is also a push. So if you get hit by, it's a twister, better yet. The jump buster is a twister. If it hits, it has to hit the person. Anybody else that gets hit gets flown off. After that, after the twister buster, then it's going to be the cone, and the cone has to be baited out of the arena. After that, we know nothing. There's nothing that we know about, because the only group that even made it there was Lucrezia. Kindred is still trying to figure out even how to do the relativity. And as far as I know, with everybody else, everyone is just dying as well to relativity before they even get to like figure it out. So like a GG go next, good luck, brother. This bottom group, they've also figured out like a lot. They figured out a lot. But I don't exactly know where they are in comparison to like the rest of the because what's going to be kind of like, you got to respect the fact that granted that Kindred is number one damage wise, they're in first place right now because they brought the boss down the lowest, but they're not the furthest in actual like mechanic progression. Not to like take away their flowers, because like I'm not in the group and they're way ahead of me, but like Kindred brought the boss down HP wise, but I think that personally they're like second in terms of mechanical execution, because Kindred can get there consistently. They get there consistently along with Lucrezia. The other groups don't even get there consistently enough to like make it even like become like a thing. Like we don't even know. Because right now, only 5 groups currently in total. Out of all the races, only 5 groups have actually made it to P3. Everybody else is still dying to Phase 2. This will change once everybody that's at Phase 3 like goes to bed. Because a lot of people Phase 2 are going to just go look at the part where the crystal part doesn't get destroyed. Because I think a lot of players that are actually progging Phase 2 die during the ad section, and they don't realize that you can't destroy the dark crystals. So like, good luck. I don't even know what the hardest part is about P2. Like, I don't even know. I would almost argue it's light rampant, but I can also actually, I think it's actually this. I think Diamond Dust is also like very difficult. It's kind of, I mean, no, I'm lying. It's got to be, no, that's not true. It's got to be light rampant. But it's not even though. That honestly, I can't even take away the credibility. The whole phase is hard. Period. That whole phase is hard. No, what's up, man? Welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Welcome. The whole phase is hard. Like from start to finish, there's no break. You don't get to chill at any point in time
けど、
with this with second phase. Um,
紫下、
unfortunately, like
それの
unfortunately, that shit is
下
rough.
側、
Yeah, I mean, we were dancing with it.
こ
So,
この 無色の
phase two by itself is a wall. Like a lot of players are not even gonna see phase two's end for like a while. And even if they do, they're gonna die a lot going into phase three, not knowing how P2 like actually works. Because you can actually do a lot of theorizing with phase two. We did that like a lot before. The theory we had about phase two is actually like very strong on par. The problem though is that we don't know how it's going to work out with the rest of the phasing in the fight, because you can actually watch. You can watch how Kindred does it. They do it. They in my opinion so far have been doing the end of phase two correctly. They might fumble a bit with this, but so far though they absolutely executed correctly. Also though, I think that they're like getting away a little bit with I don't really think you're supposed to get hit with the orb. But I don't know. Like they're